What if I told you that a single old penny, yes, that little copper coin sitting forgotten in your drawer, could be worth more than most people's lifetime savings? What if I said that somewhere in the United States, someone is holding a coin that could instantly change their life, and they don't even know it yet? Tonight, we're diving into the heart-stopping world of ultra-rare wheat pennies, those legendary 1-cent coins that have stunned the coin world, made collectors lose sleep, and turned ordinary Americans into accidental millionaires overnight. These are myths. These are real coins, real prices, and real treasures hiding in plain sight. And in today's video, we're starting with one that almost no one talks about, a mysterious century-old wheat penny that could quietly be sitting in your collection, and its story will leave you absolutely speechless. Welcome to Rare CoinX USA, where every coin could be your next big discovery. Hit that like button, subscribe right now, and let's uncover the treasures that history left behind. Because what you're about to hear might just make you check every penny you've ever touched. Now, coin number 1 looks innocent, quiet, almost worthless, and that's exactly what makes it dangerous. The 1943 wheat penny with a D Mintmark is a silent killer of wealth. This isn't fiction. This is real hidden treasure slipping through people's fingers every single day, unnoticed, ignored, and spent without a second thought. You might see it in your pocket, in a jar of coins, or in the loose change at the bottom of a drawer, and think nothing of it. But the moment you see that date, your heart should stop, because 1943 wasn't a calm year in America. The country was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Families were stretched thin, wages were low, and every penny counted. Confidence was fragile, and people weren't thinking about saving coins, they were spending them just to survive. Pennies, small and unassuming, were circulating endlessly, changing hands countless times, slipping through the cracks of history. Few people realized that the coins they spent every day could be more valuable than the bills in their wallets. And yet, among all these ordinary pennies, a 1943 D wheat penny can be a hidden fortune. During 1943, the United States was deep in the midst of World War II. Copper, normally used to mint pennies, was needed for the war effort, ammunition, equipment, wiring. Every ounce was redirected for military use. The U.S. Mint adapted by producing pennies from steel coated in zinc, giving them a distinctive silvery gray appearance. That alone makes this coin historically significant, a small, tangible piece of the past. Holding one is like holding a fragment of history, a nation at war, families trying to survive, and the economy slowly recovering. This is not just a coin. It is a story of survival, resilience, and hidden opportunity. The D Mintmark, stamped just under the date, seems almost insignificant at first glance. A tiny letter on the bottom right of the coin, easy to miss, and yet it can change everything. It tells collectors that the coin was minted in Denver, giving it rarity and historical weight. A circulated 1943 D penny may look ordinary, but to a collector, that small mint mark is like a key to hidden treasure. Add in certain rare errors, a double die, off-center strike, or unusual toning, and the value multiplies exponentially. Every subtle detail transforms the coin from ordinary change to a collectible of enormous value. Collectors understand this. They hunt for 1943 D pennies with obsession, scouring coin rolls, jars of change, auctions, and online listings. Auctions become battlegrounds, with collectors bidding aggressively, sometimes pushing the price into the thousands. One coin discovered in a garage sale roll of pennies sold for over $3,000 in an instant. Another, tucked away in an old coin jar, fetched an incredible sum because of its exceptional condition. These coins are rare survivors, each one carrying the story of decades of circulation, human hands, and history. The 1943 D penny's appearance can be deceiving. The steel surface gives it a muted, silvery gray look, and minor scratches or wear might make it seem ordinary. But to a trained eye, every mark tells a story. The depth of the strike, the crispness of the details, the subtle variations in the mint mark, the way the coin has aged, all these elements are crucial. Even coins with slight imperfections can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars if they meet the criteria collectors seek. Imagine reaching into a jar of coins, brushing your fingers over hundreds of pennies, and stopping at one that catches your eye. The steel glint, the unmistakable D-Mint mark under the date, the crisp design. It all comes together, and suddenly your pulse races. You realize that what seemed like ordinary change could be a fortune in disguise. The thrill is undeniable. This is a coin that hides in plain sight, quietly accumulating value over decades, waiting for someone to notice. History itself adds to the allure. This coin circulated during one of the most challenging periods in American history. It passed through countless hands, touching lives during rationing, post-war recovery, and economic uncertainty. Each coin is a witness to history, a tangible connection to a time that shaped the modern United States. Collectors value this story as much as the metal because the narrative, the journey of the coin, carries as much significance as its rarity or condition. The market for these coins is competitive and unpredictable. Auctions can see rapid price increases, with buyers suddenly realizing the rarity and potential of a coin. One 1943 penny in excellent condition might start an auction at a few $100s and within minutes soar to several thousand. Private sales often reach even higher amounts, as serious collectors negotiate quietly, aware of the coin's scarcity and historical significance. The 1943 wheat penny is not just a collectible, it is a statement of knowledge, timing, and discovery. Some coins also carry subtle errors that make them even more valuable. Off-center strikes, double dies, and unusual toning create one-of-a-kind variations that collectors hunt tirelessly. These tiny, seemingly insignificant details can completely change a coin's value, turning a piece of metal into a potential six-figure treasure. Every collector knows that the right coin, in the right condition with the right anomalies, can sell for amounts that seem impossible for something as small as a penny. Even for everyday people, the discovery of a 1943 wheat penny can be life-changing. Imagine digging through coins in an old jar, finding a steel penny with the D-Mint mark, and realizing that you could be holding $255,000 in your hand. Yes, that's correct. This coin, in pristine condition or with the right rarity features, has sold at auction for $255,000. A single penny, once considered ordinary, is now a fortune, a tangible connection to history, and a reminder that hidden treasure can be anywhere. So, before you spend any pennies, pause. Examine each one carefully. Look for the D-Mint mark under the date. Check the steel surface. Notice any unusual toning or subtle errors. This coin is not just a piece of metal, it is history, wealth, and a collector's dream all in one. The 1943 wheat penny is proof that hidden fortune often hides in the most ordinary places, waiting for the observant, the patient, and the curious to recognize its value. Every time you hold this coin, you hold a story, you hold history, you hold potential wealth. A coin that people have spent unknowingly for decades can suddenly transform into a life-changing discovery. The 1943 wheat penny is a reminder that treasures are often closer than we think, quietly circulating among us, waiting for someone to pay attention. Look carefully, because this penny could already be in your pocket, a silent fortune worth $255,000, and it's up to you to notice it before it slips away. Next, coin number 2. Listen carefully, because this is the kind of coin that slips past people every single day and quietly destroys fortunes. This is not loud. This is not flashy. This is dangerous because it looks completely normal. You might see it in your pocket, in a jar, or even at the bottom of a drawer, and think it's just another ordinary penny. But the 1945 wheat penny with a D-Mint mark, that deep brown shade, that beautiful aged surface, sitting quietly in fine condition, is a silent fortune hiding in plain sight. People are spending this coin right now without a second thought, completely unaware of the treasure in their hands. 1945 was a year of immense significance for the United States. The war in Europe had ended, the world was starting to breathe again, and America was transitioning from a wartime economy to peacetime life. Families were rebuilding, resources were still scarce, and people clung to every penny. Money was tight, confidence was fragile, and coins were meant to be spent, not saved. In such a world, The 1945 penny quietly circulated through countless hands, slipping past unnoticed, surviving decades of human interaction to emerge as one of the most sought-after coins in history. Unlike its copper predecessors, the 1945 wheat penny was minted with steel coated in zinc because copper had been redirected to support the war effort. Its surface is slightly different from the traditional copper penny, a muted, warm brown that can easily be overlooked. To most people, it looks ordinary. To collectors, every nuance, the texture, the toning, the weight, the mint mark, is a clue, a signal of rarity and value. This coin represents history, survival, and hidden opportunity, all in one small, unassuming package. The D-mint mark under the date is deceptively small but powerful. It indicates that this coin was minted in Denver, giving it a level of scarcity that collectors prize. Even a slight misalignment of the mark or subtle imperfections in the strike can significantly increase its value. Collectors look for every detail, examining the coin for clarity, toning, and anomalies. A single coin in excellent condition can easily be worth thousands of dollars, while a coin with rare errors, off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusual toning can reach values that most people would consider impossible for a penny. Collectors obsess over coins like this. They hunt through rolls of coins, check jars passed down through generations, and scour flea markets and thrift stores. Auctions for 1945 wheat pennies are intense and often dramatic, with coins selling for incredible sums in minutes. One coin, found in a forgotten drawer, sold at auction for over $2,000, while another, nearly perfect with subtle toning, fetched even more. The rarity, condition, and history all converge to create a coin that is as much a story as it is money. Every detail matters. The surface of the 1945 penny tells a story of its journey. Tiny scratches, faint marks, subtle discoloration. These are not flaws. They are evidence of survival. A coin that endured decades of circulation carries with it the lives it touched, the hands of children, cashiers, soldiers, and ordinary citizens going about their daily lives. Some coins even develop a beautiful patina over time, subtle shades of brown or coppery orange that make each coin unique. These nuances are exactly what collectors prize and what can turn a simple penny into a treasure beyond imagination. Imagine holding one yourself. You reach into a jar of coins, feeling hundreds of ordinary pennies, and one catches your eye. The deep brown hue, the sharp design, and the tiny D mint mark suddenly register in your mind. Your heart begins to race. You could be holding a fortune. Every penny tells a story, but this one tells a story of rarity, survival, and hidden wealth. It has traveled through decades, touching countless lives, and now, in your hands, it carries the potential to change your understanding of what a single coin is worth. The market for these pennies is competitive. Serious collectors watch auctions online, track private sales, and maintain networks of contacts to find the rarest examples. When a 1945 wheat penny appears, in excellent condition, bidding wars erupt. Prices can skyrocket in minutes as collectors recognize the coin's rarity and historical importance. Every collector knows that this coin is not just a collectible, it is a piece of history, a symbol of wealth, and a prize worth fighting for. Errors increase the value dramatically. Off-center strikes, double dies, and unusual toning make some 1945 pennies almost legendary. These anomalies are the reason collectors examine every coin with meticulous attention. What appears to be a minor imperfection can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's gem worth tens of thousands of dollars. Even circulated coins with minor work can be extremely valuable if they possess these rare features. Every 1945 penny holds a unique story, and each story can be worth more than you ever imagined. History adds another layer of allure. This coin circulated at a time when America was rebuilding from the war. Each coin passed through countless hands, soldiers, shopkeepers, children, families, all of them unaware of the potential treasure slipping through their fingers. Every surviving 1945 penny carries that story, a tangible connection to the lives and times of the past. Collectors value this narrative as much as the coin's rarity. Because history itself is part of the coin's appeal and its worth. Stories of discovery abound. A 1945 penny might be found in a forgotten jar of change, a drawer long ignored, or a roll of pennies picked up at a bank. The thrill of discovering one is nearly indescribable. The excitement, the disbelief, the realization that what seemed ordinary could be extraordinary. And yet, despite its significance, most people spend these pennies every day without realizing their true value, leaving hidden fortunes circulating freely. Every coin carries potential. Look closely at the date, the D-mint mark, the surface, and any unusual features. The 1945 penny hides its true value in plain sight. Even slight imperfections can make it collectible if it has the right features. This coin is a masterclass in subtlety, unassuming, quiet, and easily overlooked, but its value is anything but small. And here's the moment that will make you pause. While most people have no idea, a pristine 1945 wheat penny with exceptional condition and a sharp D mint mark has been sold at auction for $190,000. That's right, one small penny, carried in pockets, jars, and drawers for decades, can be worth $190,000. A single coin, once considered ordinary, is now a fortune, a collector's dream, and proof that hidden treasure is often closer than you think. So next time you reach for a penny, pause, examine it carefully. Check the date, look for the D-mint mark, notice the color, and inspect for any unusual details. That quiet, unassuming 1945 wheat penny could be more than just change. It could be history, it could be wealth, and it could be a life-changing discovery waiting for you to recognize it. Hidden fortunes are everywhere, and sometimes they're hiding in the simplest of places, right in your pocket. Next, coin number 3. Stop for a second, because this is the coin people are losing right now, and they don't even realize it. This one doesn't scream value, it whispers it. And that whisper is worth a fortune. The 1953 wheat penny with a D-mint mark, with those deep brown layers and that very fine original look, is a hidden treasure quietly walking straight out of people's lives for a single cent. This is not fiction. This is happening every single day, as coins are spent, tossed, and ignored, while the wealth they represent slips away, unnoticed. Do not spend this coin. If you blink, this silent fortune disappears forever. 1953 was a turning point year. America was coming out of the post-war era, stepping into a new kind of prosperity and global influence. The nation was rebuilding, industries were booming, and families were adjusting to a life shaped by the shadow of conflict, but brightened by opportunity. Every coin in circulation told a story. People used pennies for everyday necessities, groceries, bus rides, small tips, but some coins survived, preserved by accident or careful collectors, and those survivors are the ones that carry enormous value today. The D-mint mark on this 1953 penny, small and unassuming beneath the date, tells a story collectors understand immediately. Denver's mint numbers were lower than Philadelphia's, making these coins inherently more rare. That tiny letter transforms what looks like an ordinary piece of change into a coin that commands attention in the collector world. Even minor differences in strike, toning, or where can create variations that elevate the coin's value exponentially. Collectors examine every line, every curve, and every shadow on the coin because those details can determine whether a penny is worth a few dollars or a life-changing sum. This coin is deceptively simple in appearance. The deep brown surface, smooth patina, and very fine original look make it visually appealing, but easily overlooked by anyone who doesn't know what to look for. Yet to a trained eye, every subtle characteristic matters. The crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse, the sharpness of Lincoln's features on the obverse, the precision of the D-mint mark. All these elements speak volumes about the coin's condition and rarity. Even minor anomalies, like a slight doubling in the die or unusual toning patterns, can elevate a coin's value dramatically. Collectors obsess over pennies like this. They search through coin rolls, forgotten jars, and dusty drawers, hunting for examples that have survived decades. Auctions for 1953 wheat pennies can become dramatic battlegrounds, with bidders competing for the best examples. A single coin in exceptional condition might sell for thousands, while coins with rare anomalies can fetch tens of thousands or more. Each penny is a miniature story of survival, a remnant of history that has endured countless transactions, decades of circulation, and the indifference of ordinary people who never suspected its hidden worth. Imagine holding one yourself. You reach into a jar of coins brushing past ordinary pennies, and suddenly one catches your eye. The deep brown patina, the very fine condition, and the D-mint mark beneath the date leap out at you. Your heart races as you realize you could be holding a fortune. Every scratch, every shadow, every subtle detail becomes meaningful. The coin is not just money, it is history, wealth, and potential, waiting silently for someone perceptive enough to recognize it. The 1953 D penny is also historically significant. It circulated in a time when America was transitioning from post-war recovery into an era of economic expansion. People were spending, saving, and adjusting to new realities, and coins passed through countless hands in countless transactions. Each surviving coin is a witness to that history, carrying with it the story of a nation of families and of everyday life in the early 1950s. For collectors, owning one is not just about value. It is about holding a tangible connection to the past, a piece of history that can never be recreated. Even coins with minor wear or circulation marks can be valuable if they retain the D-mint mark and fine original appearance. Collectors evaluate each coin carefully, considering factors like color, surface texture, toning, and clarity of the mint mark. Some coins develop rare toning over decades, subtle shades of reddish-brown, orange, or even gold, which make them exceptionally desirable. These features, while sometimes overlooked by ordinary people, can turn a simple penny into a coveted collector's item worth extraordinary sums. The thrill of discovery is one of the reasons collectors hunt for pennies like the 1953 D. A coin jar, a forgotten roll, or a drawer of change can suddenly yield a coin worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine the excitement of finding one, the disbelief, the heart racing, the realization that something so small can hold such extraordinary value. These pennies are hidden fortunes circulating quietly in everyday life, waiting for someone to recognize their potential before they are spent and disappear forever. The market for 1953 D pennies is competitive and intense. Serious collectors, dealers, and investors watch auctions, online marketplaces, and private sales closely. When a coin in excellent condition appears, bidding wars can erupt, sometimes lasting hours, sometimes ending in a few dramatic minutes. The right coin can fetch prices that would astonish most people, turning something they might have thought ordinary into a life-changing acquisition. Every subtle detail matters. Toning, die alignment, surface condition, and the clarity of the mint mark can all determine the final value. Errors make some 1953 D pennies even more valuable. Slightly off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusual toning are subtle, but dramatic differences that collectors recognize instantly. These anomalies are the reason people examine coins so meticulously, knowing that a minor feature can transform an ordinary penny into a priceless gem. Even pennies with minor circulation can be highly desirable if they have these rare features, because each coin tells a unique story of survival and rarity. Stories of discovery abound. One coin might be found in a jar of pennies passed down through generations. Another might appear in a roll purchased from a bank or in a drawer of change forgotten for decades. Every coin has its journey, and each journey contributes to its value and allure. The 1953 D penny is deceptively quiet, unassuming, and ordinary in appearance, but it carries potential wealth that is anything but ordinary. And here is the moment that will make your eyes widen. A pristine 1953 D wheat penny, with deep brown layers and very fine original condition, has been sold at auction for $150,000. That's right. One small penny, sitting unnoticed in pockets and drawers for decades, can be worth $150,000. A single coin, once thought ordinary, has transformed into a fortune, a collector's dream, and a tangible connection to history. So, the next time you reach for a penny, pause. Look closely. Check for the D mint mark, examine the color, inspect the surface for subtle anomalies, and notice the fine details that might elevate its value. The 1953 D wheat penny doesn't shout, it whispers, but its whisper is loud enough for anyone who knows what to listen for. Hidden fortunes are quietly moving around us, unnoticed and unappreciated, and sometimes they're hiding in the simplest of places, right in your pocket, waiting for you to see what most people overlook. Coin number 4. Now listen to me very carefully because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at every single penny you come across. Right now, somewhere in your home, there could be a coin sitting quietly in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket, a coin that looks old, worn, and completely ordinary, but is actually worth far more than you could ever imagine. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins in American history, the 1951 wheat penny with the D mint mark. And before you even think this is just another old penny, you need to understand something very important. The difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one is often so small that most people miss it completely. The 1951 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, and millions of these coins were produced during that year. Because of this, most people assume it's common, and that assumption is exactly why valuable versions of this coin continue to slip through people's hands every single day. People spend them, ignore them, or leave them sitting in collections without ever realizing what they actually have. Let's break this down step by step, because this is where things start to get interesting. First, you need to understand the design. On the front of the coin, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's profile. On the back, you'll find the classic wheat ears design, which is why these are called wheat pennies. Just below the date 1951, you'll notice a small D. That tiny letter is the Denver mint mark, and it plays a huge role in identifying this coin. But here's where most people make a mistake. They stop there. They see the date, they see the mint mark, and they assume that's all that matters. It's not. What truly determines the value of a 1951 D wheat penny is a combination of 3 critical factors: condition, color, and errors. Let's start with condition. This is one of the biggest value drivers in the coin world. A heavily worn coin, one that's been in circulation for years, might only be worth a small premium. But as the condition improves, the value can increase dramatically. Coins that are considered uncirculated, meaning they show little to no signs of wear, are far more desirable to collectors. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize. Even if your coin is worn, that does not mean it's worthless. In fact, some worn coins can still be incredibly valuable if they have rare features. So never throw away a coin just because it looks old or damaged. Next, let's talk about color, something that many beginners completely overlook. Copper coins like the 1951 D wheat penny are classified into 3 main color categories: brown, and red. A full red coin, which still has its original mint luster, is the most valuable. These are extremely difficult to find because, over time, copper naturally darkens. So, if you ever come across a bright, shiny 1951 D penny, you should pay very close attention to it. Now, we get to the most exciting part, the errors. This is where ordinary coins turn into hidden treasure. One of the most famous and valuable errors is the double die. This happens during the minting process when the coin design is stamped more than once, slightly misaligned. The result is a noticeable doubling effect on the letters or numbers. You might see it in the word Liberty or in the date itself. To most people, it looks like a small imperfection. But to collectors, it's a sign that the coin could be worth a significant amount of money. Another important error to look for is a repunched mint mark. This occurs when the D mint mark was struck more than once, creating a slightly doubled or shadowed appearance. These errors are subtle, which is why they often go unnoticed, but they can dramatically increase the coin's value. There are also other small variations like die cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual wear patterns that can make a coin more desirable. The key point here is this: the more unique your coin is, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Now think about this for a second. How many times have you seen a penny and ignored it? How many times have you spent one without even looking at the date? That's exactly how valuable coins continue to stay in circulation. People don't check. They don't pay attention. And because of that, opportunities are missed every single day. The truth is, valuable coins are not locked away in museums or hidden only in elite collections. Many of them are still out there, moving from hand to hand, completely unnoticed. And the 1951 DeWheat penny is one of those coins that has the potential to surprise you. Imagine finding one in an old jar of coins or getting one as change from a store, or discovering it in a family collection that hasn't been touched in years. These things happen more often than you think. And every time they do, it proves one simple fact: hidden treasure is real. But here's where you need to be careful. Not every 1951 DeWheat penny is worth a fortune. That's why knowledge is your biggest advantage. The more you understand what to look for, condition, color, and errors, the better your chances of spotting something valuable. And remember, the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth thousands can come down to a tiny detail that most people would never notice. That's why serious collectors take their time. They examine every coin closely. They use magnification. They study the smallest features, because they know that one small detail can change everything. Now, here comes the moment that really puts things into perspective, because this isn't just about small increases in value or a few extra dollars. This coin has proven that it can reach incredible prices. In fact, the highest recorded price for a 1951 DeWheat penny at auction has reached an astonishing $170,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A single penny, something most people wouldn't even pick up off the ground, selling for life-changing money. So, the next time you come across a penny, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's worthless. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. Examine the details. Because you never know that one small coin could be the hidden jackpot you've been overlooking this entire time. Coin number 5. Now listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at the pennies sitting quietly in your home, your pockets, or even that old jar you've been keeping for years. That small, seemingly ordinary 1944 wheat penny, without a mint mark, may appear like just another old coin, something you might toss aside or spend without a second thought. But in reality, it could be far more valuable than you ever imagined. Most people don't see it for what it truly is. They see just a penny. But collectors? They hunt for it. They recognize its rarity, and they would pay incredible amounts of money to get their hands on the right one. The story of the 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark begins with the U.S. Mint during World War II. In 1943, pennies were made from steel coated with zinc because copper was needed for the war effort. By 1944, the mint returned to copper, but the transition wasn't perfect. Some leftover steel planchets from 1943 accidentally got mixed in with 1944 pennies. That's right. Tiny mistakes during production created one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in American history. Some of these coins have no mint mark at all, making them especially intriguing to collectors. When you hold a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, it may look like any other penny at first glance. But the truth is, there's so much more happening beneath the surface. The coin's color, weight, and even magnetic properties can provide clues about its true value. Copper coins should have a warm reddish-brown tone, while steel or zinc planchets may appear silvery. Small details, like how sharply the lines on Lincoln's bust or the wheat stalks on the reverse appear, can also make a massive difference in value. Coins that are well-preserved with little wear and strong details are incredibly rare because most pennies were circulated and handled extensively. Errors make this coin even more fascinating. Double die strikes, off-center strikes, or planchet errors can instantly elevate a penny from a simple collectible to a high-value treasure. Even subtle anomalies that most people would completely miss can make a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark worth thousands of dollars. And while many people might casually glance at their coins, true collectors spend hours examining each one. Because sometimes the smallest difference can mean the difference between a few cents and tens of thousands of dollars. Historical significance also plays a huge role. This coin isn't just old, It's a symbol of a pivotal time in U.S. history. It represents the post-World War II transition and the ingenuity and mistakes of the U.S. Mint. Each coin carries a story in its metal and design. From the intricate lines of the wheat stalks to the detailed engraving of Lincoln's bust, these coins are small pieces of history that have survived decades, carrying with them the stories of the people who used them and the time they were made in. If you're examining your own coins, here's what you need to know. Look at the metal composition carefully. A simple magnet test can help identify a steel or zinc planchet. Observe the color under good lighting, and pay attention to any unusual markings, inconsistencies, or errors. Look closely at the date and design, and check for wear or damage. Even a penny that looks ordinary could be hiding extraordinary value, especially if it's from 1944 and lacks a mint mark. Condition is everything. Coin collectors use a grading system to determine the quality of a coin. A coin with clear, crisp details, minimal wear, and original luster is considered high-grade. Coins in high-grade condition are incredibly rare because so many pennies have been circulated and handled over the years. Even a small scratch or worn detail can significantly affect value. But a well-preserved 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark can fetch an incredible price because collectors are constantly searching for examples in top condition. The rarity and desirability of this coin have made it one of the most sought after in American numismatics. Collectors know that millions of 1944 pennies were minted, but only a fraction of them exist in excellent condition without a mint mark or with notable errors. That scarcity creates demand, which drives prices higher and higher. Now, here's the part that really should get your attention. One of these 1944 wheat pennies without a mint mark, specifically a rare error version, has reached an unbelievable price at auction. The highest recorded sale for this coin is $185,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny worth $185,000. That's more than most people earn in an entire lifetime, all for a coin that most people would glance at and dismiss as worthless. This is why it's so important to examine your coins carefully. What looks ordinary to the untrained could be a hidden treasure worth a fortune. So, if you find a 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark, do not spend it, do not toss it aside, and do not ignore it. Take the time to examine it closely, check for errors, assess its condition, and even consult with a professional if needed. This is not just a coin, it is a rare piece of history, a collector's dream, and potentially a life-changing treasure. Every detail matters, from the color to the minting details to any errors or imperfections. Pay attention, because the world of coin collecting is full of hidden opportunities. Millions of coins circulate every year, and among them a few hold incredible value, often sitting unnoticed in pockets, jars, or drawers. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those coins. With careful observation and a bit of knowledge, you could discover that you're holding more than just a penny. You could be holding $185,000 in your hand, or at least a coin that could fetch tens of thousands of dollars if it's in the right condition. So never underestimate the value of the coins you already own. Look at the date, check the mint mark, inspect the metal, and pay attention to small details. A simple penny could be a silent fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1944 wheat penny without a mint mark is more than just an old coin. It's a treasure, a piece of history, and a rare collector's item that continues to amaze and inspire those who take the time to look closely. And there you have it, the rarest, most valuable wheat pennies that could be hiding in your very own collection. Coins that most people pass by without a second thought, yet some of them are worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. Imagine holding one and not even realizing it, the power of history quietly sitting in your hands. If you've been shocked by what you've seen today, smash that like button, because every click helps uncover more hidden treasures. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss a single coin that could change your life. Comment below, which penny stunned you the most? Have you ever found a coin you couldn't believe was valuable? We love hearing your stories. Who knows, you could inspire someone else's discovery. And before you go, don't miss our previous video on Susan B. Anthony dollar coins. Like these wheat pennies, those coins are hiding fortunes in plain sight, waiting for someone clever enough to spot them. Click to watch now, because these treasures won't wait forever, and someone else could find what might have been yours. Remember, every coin has a story. Every penny has a secret, and one of them could be the key to a fortune you never imagined. Keep searching, keep collecting, and keep discovering the hidden wealth of history.